recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour, and my substance of addiction for many years, 35 if not more, 35 years, alcohol, and my other addictions to behaviour, work, relationships, collecting, materialism, whatever society and civilization said I should be collecting or doing, or at least I thought I ought to be doing. And somehow I lost my way, and I guess really from the first drink, where it took the edge off me, made me feel warm, convivial, sleepy, happy, joyful, and able to access all those other feelings that were buried deep underneath something else called fear. And fear was always there. So in my childhood, fear at home, fear at school, fear just around me, because I didn't understand life, and I didn't know it was okay to not understand life. I just thought I ought to know it, and other people seemed to just carry on, oblivious to danger, fear and anything. But it didn't stop me being a brave person, or as a child. I did all the silly things like shoot bows and arrows, shoot guns and all sorts of things. But this was in the 60s, when, you know, danger wasn't something that seemed to matter too much when it came to children playing. And we used to play with knives and machetes and axes, set fires in woods, cook, camp, do all those things, not particularly supervised, because that's just how life was. And that's no reflection on my family or my parents. They really didn't know what we got up to. Yeah, life as a kid was quite fearful in many respects, and I wasn't really fearful of nature or providence. I was more fearful of people and other kids. A lot of bullies around in my childhood, and if you fear a bully, they somehow know it. Anyway, that's where it started. So 35 years of trying to fit in, trying to be the person I thought I ought to be, trying to be whatever I thought you wanted me to be, or the girlfriend might want me to be, the girlfriend, a girlfriend, or another girlfriend, and another one. All that's, you know, just trying to find ourselves and to fit in and fix what we have inside us, which is a gap. And if somebody had said to me early on, you're supposed to have a gap inside, it's called room for growth, maybe I would have stopped trying to fill it with alcohol and tried to start filling it with good things which would nourish me, which is to understand and access my feelings on a daily basis, understand what they are and feel them, rather than push them down and live in denial all the time. So denial is a part of the process of living. It is the I can't believe it moments of life. You know, why is this happening to me? Why have I got type 1 diabetes? Why have I got clinical depression? Why am I an alcoholic? And the answer is, why not? And indeed, why not? So, you know, 35 years of dependency, and in the last few, it became complete addiction. So there was always something there, taking the edge off, because that's what we did. That's what we did at work, or after work. That's what we did to be sociable and part of, and that's what we did because we needed to and wanted to. And now I don't need to drink alcohol, obsess over people, places or things. And if I start to feel that obsession coming on around, I ought to be doing this, I should be doing that, I need to ask myself, what am I doing? And if I can't make sense of it, I need some help. So where do I get help? Well, certainly from family, friends and community, and also a fellowship which helps me keep sober one day at a time, and that fellowship is AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. So what I do here is share a bit about what AA is, with the AA statement of intent, a bit of the literature and what I've been up to, like going to meetings of the fellowship and living life. So I'll start with the AA statement of intent, which is on this very handy little card, which you can't see because of the lights. Anyway, it doesn't matter, I can see it and I can share it. I went to a meeting yesterday morning where we just recite this out as a group, and thank goodness I can, but at the same time I like to just read it because it makes me slow down to read the words rather than just a recitation, which can be helpful, but it can be useless, because if I don't reflect on the words and just say them out loud, it's like I used to do at school, just read out a poem, and it didn't mean anything to me. So here we go. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is the desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And in reading those words, it reminds me of two things in particular. The only reason for being part of the fellowship is a desire to stop drinking, and there's no other qualification. You don't have to say you're an alcoholic or anything. It's just, if you have a desire to stop drinking, come along. And the other one is to share the message with other people, which is why I do these videos, and often because, as I was asked, people can't always get out to meetings, or meetings are far away, and why not share experience, strength and hope? It's a good idea. So what makes it work for me? Well, it's a combination of family, friends, community, fellowship, knowing that sober must come first, sobriety, and then the rest of life can work. And sobriety offers me the opportunity to understand what love can be, how to love people, how to be loved back, or to live it, live love, giving and receiving, and be useful. And that's really the theme of today's reading in the AA literature I'm sharing, which is this one, Daily Reflections. And in the Daily Reflections, it's 1 step per month, 12 steps of action to change my attitude and behaviour. And for January 30th it says this: freedom from and freedom to. We are going to know a new freedom. Freedom for me is both freedom from and freedom to. The first freedom I enjoy is freedom from slavery to alcohol. What a relief! Then I begin to experience freedom from fear. Fear of people, economic insecurity, of commitment, of failure, of rejection. Then I begin to enjoy freedom to. Freedom to choose sobriety for today. Freedom to be myself. Freedom to express my opinion. To experience peace of mind. To love and be loved. I always wondered where that came from. I thought it was from a psychiatrist, but there you go. And freedom to grow spiritually. But how can I achieve these freedoms? The big book clearly says, and that's the AA big book, that before I'm halfway through making amends, that's in step 9, I will begin to know a new freedom, not the old freedom of doing what I pleased without regard to others, but the new freedom that allows fulfillment of the promises in my life. What a joy to be free. And for me, what is freedom? It is freedom of choice in the moment. And as I say, I went to 2 meetings yesterday, one in the morning called Just for Today, and that's where we recited the AA Statement of Intent, known as the Preamble, and then the evening meeting is called Courage to Change. And for me it is all about courage to change on a daily basis, sometimes slowly, sometimes quickly, as life experience helps me and enables me to see a new outlook. And what do I need to help me do that? Is fellowship, inclusion, learning love, to love, be loved and useful. So that's me today so far, and we'll see how it goes. So the Serenity Prayer, which I share at the end of these videos, is to God or to good conscience, to the truth of now. It's a reflection and meditation. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Hopefully it's just for today. Just tried to do a video, it all went wrong. Let's start again. My videos, all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour, or both. My substance, alcohol, my behaviour, trying to be perfect as much as possible, and never never satisfied. And my videos are all about recovery from these addictions. And what helps me most is being in a fellowship of people like me who have an addiction and want to stay in recovery one day at a time. So the fellowship I go to and am a part of on a daily basis is Alcoholics Anonymous. And I don't speak for Alcoholics Anonymous, I just speak for me. But at every meeting there's a preamble said which helps me get myself back into the moment and slow my thinking down to being right here, right now. And it goes like this. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And that final sentence, our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety, is a daily endeavour. It's just one day, a daily endeavour. And for the month of January I've been talking about powerlessness, and the first step of the action program that AA offers anybody who joins to be a fellow of the fellowship. And that one is admitting I was powerless over alcohol, and if I drank again life would get unmanageable. So the first step is known as the 100% step on a daily basis. Just for one day you can do it 100%, and then there are another 11 steps in the program, making up 12, that we can then endeavour to utilise as best we can to make our lives more easy, not easy in the sense of less hard, maybe more productive, more informed, more spiritual, more emotionally balanced, so we can jettison all those old ideas which were keeping us fixed in our drinking and our fear of life. Because I was really fearful of life. And in my last drinking days, I drank to the point where I never wanted to wake up again, day after day after day. And how I survived that, I do not know. It could be classified as a miracle, but when you understand my feeling about God and the universe, the miracle is that the human body can sustain a lot of damage, and then we can still survive a bit longer if we look after ourselves. So we are lucky. Nature and Providence gave us fairly hard working instruments within us, and keeps us safe most of the time. And then most of the time we can make it go wrong by the indulgences that we have and the addictions that we can foster. What helps me, besides going to meetings of AA, and don't forget I don't speak for AA, I just speak for myself. I use the literature. One of the key ones for me is the daily reflections, which I've been sharing as we go through the month. And for January 30th, it's quite pertinent to me, and it talks about freedom from and freedom to. We are going to know a new freedom, and that comes from the AA Big Book about the promises. And here we go. Freedom for me is both freedom from and freedom to. The first freedom I enjoy is freedom from the slavery of alcohol. That's true for me. What a relief. And then I begin to experience freedom from fear. Fear of people, of economic insecurity, of commitment, of failure, of rejection. Then I begin to enjoy freedom too. Freedom to choose sobriety for today. Freedom to be myself. Freedom to express my opinion. To experience peace of mind. To love and be loved. And freedom to grow spiritually. But how can I achieve these freedoms? The big book clearly says that before I am halfway through making amends, I will begin to know a new freedom. Not the old freedom of doing what I pleased, without regard to others, but the new freedom that allows fulfillment of the promises in my life. What a joy to be free. And part of my waking up, if you like, is to ask myself on a daily basis, how am I feeling, why? And what may I do? And those are the three critical questions about me asserting myself in my own life. How am I feeling today? Flattened still, but that's okay. Why? I have a gap inside me. A relationship is gone. And what can I do? Two things. I can look at my sobriety, what I can do which will be useful, and not fill my head full of nonsense. And the nonsense can keep coming back with attachment to fear, ego, and putting on a brave face, and trying to be right when there is no right or wrong. So when it says here, then I begin to experience freedom from fear of people, economic insecurity, of commitment, of failure and rejection. You know, most of the things which happen in life happen for a good reason, and if we fail to communicate in some way what is going on inside us, other people cannot help us. So part of the AA philosophy is to get it out there, express what is going on, either to yourself and one other, maybe your sponsor or a private, well-trusted friend, or express it in a room of AA where we remain anonymous. Most of the time it's a sanctuary to provide an opportunity to share and express our feelings. And believe you me, we do express our feelings as we start to learn. What we fear is what people might think of us, and that's so important. I'm less concerned about what people think of me. I'm more inclined to believe that if they know me better, my feelings and where I am, they can help me. So rather than put the brave face on, behind which is ego and fear, it's far better to have a little bit of courage, a little bit of faith, and a little bit of confidence to keep on saying what is the truth of me today. So how am I feeling is so important. And I am feeling threatened, and it's not surprising. And that's okay. It's okay to feel this way. It will pass if I give it time. And what I don't need to do is try and medicate it away with alcohol, because alcohol will surely kill me. The craving will come back, and I'll be back to where I started, square one, some years back, when I couldn't stop drinking. And it was only when I got to the honest truth of me, and as I've been describing, this month is all about step one, powerless over alcohol, and life is unmanageable if I drink. This book concentrates on step one for the whole of January, mainly, and then moves on to step two in a couple of days, which is all about the insanity of doing the same thing over and over again. But I also use or utilise or read, as Bill sees it, one page a day normally. And for today, page 13, or item 13, the shared gift. AA is more than a set of principles. It is a society of alcoholics in action, and the emphasis is always on action. We must carry the message, else we ourselves can wither, and those who haven't been given the truth may die. Faith is more than our greatest gift. Its sharing with others is our greatest responsibility. May we of AA continually seek the wisdom and the willingness by which we may well fulfill that immense trust the giver of all perfect gifts has placed in our hands. And the giver of all perfect gifts has placed in our hands, the giver, for me, is God, in the sense that God is truth, and God is love, and God works through people. And I have no image in my mind of somebody floating on a cloud with a harp, or a long flowing beard, dishing out wisdom here, there, or everywhere. Just like me, I don't do that. And the previous reading from the As Bill Sees It, I don't know whether I shared this, but the second paragraph goes, I must attain humility today, only to the extent that I am able to avoid the bog of guilt and rebellion on the one hand, and on the other hand, that fair but deceiving land which is strewn with the good fool's gold coins of pride. This is how I can find and stay on the high road to humility, which lies between these extremes. Therefore, a constant inventory which can reveal when I'm off the road is always in order. And that's talking about continual inventory each day. So when I say how am I feeling, why, and what can I do, it's my gentle inventory about my feelings and emotions. And the spiritual connection today, it really is about the truth of now, the truth of my situation now. And often when I see it through my own eyes, on my own, it's no good. What I need to see and take account of is what is going on for other people around me, and how they view and see the world as well. So what helps me more than anything is accepting those things I cannot change, and having the courage to change those things I can, and learning the wisdom to know the difference. Maybe that is where serenity lies.